K. Throughout history, public shaming has been a tool of power and often a tool of injustice. In 1692, the Salem witch trials condemned dozens to death based on little more than mass hysteria. Today, we call it cancel culture, and while it may look different, the instinct behind it remains the same.
Primals, I'm making this video to apologize because I f***ed up.
I'm so sorry to you guys.
I owe you guys a sincere apology.
How I had inappropriate contact with them.
The only thing I've ever groomed is my 2 Persian cats. I'm not a groomer. I'm just a loser.
Things that allegedly are out there.
I made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
I'm honestly just devastated.
There's nothing I can really do but say sorry and give you these Amazon gift cards.
I've done nothing wrong, I'll be
Even though out of context, I, like many people, can't help but laugh at these videos, when paired with the actions that the influencers are apologizing for, their lack of remorse really becomes more frightening than anything. Colleen Ballinger cried more during her apology for postponing one of her shows.
We did everything we could to try to make it happen. We desperately tried to
Contrastingly, the sincerity of the following apologies for much more minor actions really speaks to the fatal flaw in the function of cancel culture as a whole.
It shouldn't have existed. I shouldn't have said that. Ever.
Any of my, other transgender followers who saw that, and, to you, I'm really, really sorry.
And I want her to know that, if she needs resources, I would love to donate.
So before we dive in, here's a few definitions for you. To cancel is to withdraw one's support for someone or something publicly and especially on social media. And cancel culture is the practice or tendency of engaging in mass canceling as a way of expressing disapproval and exerting social pressure. And today I will be focusing on influencer cancellation, particularly YouTubers and musicians. While it's true that canceling influencers can empower marginalized communities to hold public figures accountable for harmful behavior, incorrect use or overuse of cancel culture can be psychologically detrimental. It discourages people, especially youth, from expressing their opinions or being given a second chance to prove that they're learning from their mistakes. Therefore, influencer cancellation should be reserved for more extreme and ongoing cases of damaging behavior, such as sexual harassment, directed bullying, or peer endangerment, and not executed through nitpicking a person's life for minor or past mistakes as a gateway to shunning influencers that one detests. However, people who support frequent cancellation often argue that being harsh about every person's actions online is necessary in protecting and empowering vulnerable groups. In spite of this, even people in oppressed communities can be cancelled unjustly, causing a ripple effect in that community. A great and unfortunate example of this is what happened to Robin Skinner, stage named Cavetown. This is a snippet of his apology for posting a tweet including a slur directed towards transgender people when he was 14.
I said the word tranny. I'm gonna come out and say it. I'm transgender. So you may not have known that. I don't like the word. I don't want to say it ever again. It's more important to me to not be seen as a transphobic cis person than to remain stealth.
Robin apologized sincerely, but it wasn't enough. He felt forced to out himself as transgender just to prove that he wasn't acting out of hatred. He hadn't planned to come out yet, but he did it out of fear for his own community. Cancel culture didn't just seek an apology, it demanded the exposure of his private life. This matches what a study by professors at the Peruvian University of Applied Sciences, Victor Omar-Vitlian and S. Singh Folster found that cancel culture often becomes about marginalizing individuals for violating social norms and escalates into figurative lynching, as 2 of their participants, Sailovsky and Berman, had agreed on, where the goal isn't growth, it's punishment. Robin's case shows that cancel culture can harm the very people it claims to protect, and when this cancellation snowballs out of control, the psychological damage can be serious. As leading UK psychologist Becky Spellman explains, cancelling started as a way for victims to take back power, but with social media's wildfire-like spread, it became about wielding absolute power over any and all missteps. YouTuber Jenna Marbles experienced this as well. Although she was never directly cancelled off YouTube, she was getting bashed on Twitter regarding old deleted videos of hers that had resurfaced because some users had found the jokes in those videos offensive. Jenna immediately apologized for what was brought up about those videos, in addition to some things that she herself found immature from her past, and she chose to remove herself from the internet entirely.
I think I'm just gonna move on from this channel for now. I want to make sure that the things that I put into the world are not hurting anyone.
However, the backlash spread anyway, like wildfire, as Spellman words it. In this case, cancellation wasn't about empowering victims, it was about punishing someone who had already changed. Even Hank Green praised Jenna's response, recognizing that she held herself accountable without waiting for a mob to force her out, claiming that she stood out for the maturity with which she handled the situation. Robin's, Jenna's, and many other great YouTubers' cases all show that cancel culture often targets growth and not harm. In the previously mentioned Peruvian University study, researchers concluded that cancel culture should be reserved for more extreme situations, particularly egregious offenses like sexual harassment, always accompanied by due process. But Robin's case shows what happens when these guardrails are ignored. A mistake he made at 14 with no ongoing harm or malicious intent was treated like an unforgivable crime. Similarly, Jenna's departure from YouTube proves that even those who show real accountability for past mistakes can be driven out when cancel culture loses its sense of proportion. Without the standard of extreme situations and due process, as the researchers brought up, cancel culture stops being about justice and starts being about fear. And when the difference between malicious actions and honest mistakes is forgotten, it's not just influencers who get hurt. A national poll commissioned by Times Opinion and Siena College found that 61% of young adults said they avoided speaking up at least once a year out of fear of being canceled, and about 1/3 admitted to harshly criticizing others themselves. This shines light on how cancel culture is actually silencing people, not empowering them. Meanwhile, most of the influencers who gave some of the most horrific apologies with little to no remorse still have their platforms today. It doesn't work on the people it's supposed to. Instead, people like Robin Skinner or Jenna Marbles, who actually took responsibility for their actions, end up facing worse consequences. Therefore, influencer cancellation should be reserved for more extreme and ongoing damaging behavior, not minor or past mistakes. Consequences should come from platforms like suspensions or bans, not from reckless public shaming. Until then, cancel culture will continue harming the wrong people.